Steve moved along with the rest of the art exhibition crowd. Richard, the gallery owner, was chatting with some fancy guests over a glass of champagne. A famous guy, what can you do? Steve was the opposite. Staying unnoticed was his thing, his bread and butter. Still, in some circles, his pseudonym meant something. He was good at what he did. Richard didn't pick him over other thieves for nothing. Steve grabbed a glass from a passing tray and edged closer to the crowd around the old man. "Richard!" he called out, cheerful. Richard frowned, trying to place him, so Steve added the code phrase. "Antony, Athens, last year, remember?" Richard raised an eyebrow, unsure. Steve was used to that reaction. He just looked too young for his reputation. But really, how else should an art thief look? It's a physical job, after all. Not the job Richard needed him for, of course, but in general. "Act like you know me," he thought, irritated. "No raised eyebrows. I don't need your guests remembering me." "Tony," Richard finally got into character. "How's your dad? Come on, I'll show you the ceramics." He nodded his goodbyes to the guests, took Steve by the elbow, and led him along. They stopped by some ancient pottery stuff. Richard lowered his voice. "I'll show you the entry and the path to the painting. Take only that one, nothing else. Other details you know, right?" Steve nodded. He knew how to open the door, cut the wire, find the painting, and grab it without tripping the alarm. He knew how much he'd get paid and when, not anytime soon, since Richard's insurers loved taking their sweet time. But they'd pay in the end, and Steve could wait. He knew all he had to know, and only one thing bothered him. "I usually work nights," he said. Richard shrugged. "It's almost still night at 5 a.m. "But it's already light outside." "As you were told," Richard replied, cold. "The guards switch shifts at this time. They always go for a cigarette. This would be your window." He glanced at his expensive watch. "Really?" Steve thought. "I'm about to steal the Marsoth painting for you so you can get the insurance. Find a few more seconds of your precious time for me." "I'd rather work at night," Steve said. "Even with guards in place, but my way." "No." Richard's tone hardened further. "If you're not ready, Mr. Beck, I'll find another freelancer." Stubborn fool. He wouldn't even be there. He just needed the job done. Why care about the means? A control freak. "Double my payment," Steve said, "and I'll do it. A job's a job, right?" The next day, at 5 a.m., just as promised, the night guard finished his shift. The day guard had arrived, and the two went out for a smoke. Steve slipped through the back door, found the wires, cut them. Fabric shoe covers on, he moved quietly, leaving no trace. Marble floor, curved stairs. Here he was. From the painting, a young lady stared at him. He'd only ever seen this piece in photos, never in person. Like many paintings he'd handled and stolen before, it looked completely different up close. Pale, with a faint, barely there smile, and black eyes hiding a strange spark, she was watching him back. This Marsoth guy surely had talent, Steve thought, and cut the painting from the frame. He slept through the whole day after a night of prepping and the morning job. The painting was folded downstairs, in the room with the rest of his too-fresh-to-sell trophies. It felt almost wrong. He'd gotten payment and a painting for so little effort. He was used to real thefts, planned right, done right. Maybe that's why this one felt off. Steve poured a glass of wine and plopped on the sofa. What now? Go out and find some fun? Or bring the fun home? The job was done. He'd earned a little celebration, hadn't he? He took a sip. Suddenly, the lights went out. "What the?" he muttered, but didn't finish. The room lit up again, dim, flickering. Steve sighed and finished the phrase this time. "What the hell?" He got up, trying to remember how the wiring even worked in his house. He'd never had a problem like this before. Then the laughter echoed. Quiet, distinct from downstairs. A woman's laughter. He cursed, threw open the door, and ran down the steps. Something slammed, door or window, but all his thoughts were on the treasure room. His colleagues could have come up with all sorts of weird tricks to distract him or scare him, and steal his stuff. Those guys were pretty resourceful. He'd know. But who'd be scared by this idiotic performance? He opened the room. Everything was in place, except for the Marsoth painting. It was still there, but on the floor, not on the shelf where he'd left it. Steve grabbed it, unfolded it, and swore again. It wasn't the same picture. Same canvas, same background, but that was it. The lady, the pale lady with the strange black eyes, was gone. They changed the canvas, he thought, puzzled. Why? Why make it so difficult? The light went wild, flickering like crazy. The door behind him slammed shut and swung open again. But the canvas, he thought, and the paint, it all looks so real. Then another thought clicked. Crazy, but it explained a lot. Why Richard wanted to get rid of this exact picture, and this one only. Why he was ready to give it away and pay all that money. And why Steve had to do the job in daylight. Because at night, the laughter echoed again, very close, right behind him. Because at night, she leaves the canvas.